السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن يتبعه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, I welcome you all once again to today's class. So inshallah today we continue in our lesson number 15. This is the second part of lesson number 15 and we are doing exercise number 4 in lesson number 15. So the instruction once again is تبادل السؤال والجواب مع زميلك, which means exchange the question and the answer with your colleague كما في المثال as it is in the example. So the example is over here. The question is ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم؟ ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم؟ ماذا is used for asking a question, which means what in the English language. تريد, you want. So you, the pronoun you is from the ta over here. The ta over here, تريد, you want. As we spoke about in our previous session, أريد, I want. The hamza is the one giving the I. تريد is you. Just like أسكن, I live. تسكن, you live. So you can tell. It could be ta, it could be tu. So far as you see the ta or the tu over there, so when you get it, turidu, it can never go to taridu. It will always be turidu. Taskunu will never go to tuskunu. It will always be taskunu. Okay? So that's by the way. ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم? What do you want for the bedroom? We already know غرفة النوم or غرفة النوم, which means bedroom. So what do you want for the bedroom? And the li here is giving the meaning for bedroom. غرفة النوم. ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم? What do you want for the bedroom? أريد ستارة, which means I want a curtain. So the words were taken from this particular picture over here. غرفة النوم, a bedroom. So we have it over here. غرفة النوم. So over here, what happens is when you are putting it in the sentence, you have to put the alif lam on the second word over here. But if it is not two words, then you put alif lam on the first word. If it is only one word, you put alif lam on the first word. But if it is two words, then you put alif lam on the second word, not on the first word. And then sitarotan, you take it just as it is, and then you put it in the sentence. Sitarotan means a curtain. As we said earlier on in our previous session, we said sitarotun, sitarotin. All of them means what? Curtain. But the sound at the end is changing because of the work that particular word is doing in the sentence. Okay, so we have over here the first picture over here for try work. The word is matbakhi. So remember, you put alif lam if it is one word, and if it is two words, you put alif lam on the second word. Okay, so matbakhi. So we are putting it in that particular sentence. What do we say? ماذا تريد للمطبخ? ماذا تريد للمطبخ? Okay, and then, so meaning, what does it mean? Yes, what do you want for the bedroom? What do you want? No, not for the bedroom. What do you want for the kitchen? What do you want for the kitchen? And then in answering, what do you say? Nam uridu, I want ثلاجة. I want a fridge. أريد ثلاجة. I want a fridge. أحسن. Let's move to the next one. حمام. What's the meaning of حمام? Yes, حمام means a washroom. So we put it in the sentence. ماذا تريد للحمام? ماذا تريد للحمام? What do you want for the washroom? And then in the answer you say what? أريد سخانا. أريد سخانا. I want a heater. I want a heater. بارك الله فيكم. The next one. ماذا تريد لغرفة الجلوس? What do you want for the sitting room? غرفة الجلوس, the sitting room. What do you want for the sitting room? So I want to say I want a couch. How do I say that? نعم. أريد أريكة. أريد أريكة. I want a couch. أريد أريكة. I want a couch. بارك الله فيك. So we'll move on to the next one. Now, how do you say I want? What do you want for the bedroom? Okay, yes, that is correct. ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم؟ ماذا تريد لغرفة النوم? And then the answer is I want a bed. How do we say that? I want a bed. How do we say that? نعم. أريد سريرا. أريد سريرا. I want a bed. أريد سريرا. I want a bed. Let's move on to the next one. How do we say? What do you want for the sitting room? What do you want for the sitting room? نعم أحسنت. ماذا تريد لغرفة الجلوس؟ ماذا تريد لغرفة الجلوس? What do you want for the sitting room? And the answer is أريد سجادة. أريد سجادة. What does it mean? Yes, I want a carpet. I want a carpet. Let's move on to the next one. ماذا تريد للمطبخ? You tell me the meaning. ماذا تريد للمطبخ؟ نعم. What do you want for the kitchen? What do you want for the kitchen? أريد فرنا. أريد فرنا. I want an oven. I want an oven. أحسن. You can try this with your colleague, inshallah. So move on to the next exercise. تبادل السؤال والجواب مع زميلك كما في المثال. Exchange the question and the answer with your colleague as it is in the example. كم غرفة في الشقة أو كم غرفة في الشقة. Let's look at this. كم is used for asking question about number. You want a number. So whatever word come after it, how many are those things? Okay. And then whatever comes after come has to be, they call it mansuban, has to have the fatatan at the end. It needs to have fatatan. So كم غرفة. You don't say غرفة or غرفتين. لا. كم غرفة في الشقة. In the apartment. How many rooms are in the apartment? How many rooms are in the apartment? And then the other person says في الشقة خمس غرف. في الشقة خمس غرف. Which means there are 5 rooms in the apartment. There are 5 rooms in the apartment. Now let's look at it. Literally, if you're to do a literal translation, you see, in the apartment are 5 rooms. Because في شقة means in the apartment. خمس غرف means 5 rooms. Okay? So in the apartments are 5 rooms. So we try to make the sentence sound good in English. There are 5 rooms in the apartment. That is also correct. So now looking at it, we learned khamsatun means 5. Khamsatun means 5. But here we are saying khamsu. Khamsu also means 5. Khamsatun, feminine. Remember feminine? The term marbuto at the end? Without the term marbuto, it is masculine. Khamsun. Khamsun. Okay? And then ghurafin is the plural for ghurfa. Ghuraf is the plural for ghurfa. Kam ghurfatan. Here we use the singular, but in answering, when we use the number, we have to use the plural. And the number has to be having only one dhamma or one kasra or one fatha. It has to be like that. And then the thing you are speaking about has to be majrurun, having kasra at the end. That's just by the way grammatically. So this means في الشقة خمس غرف means there are 5 rooms in the apartment. في أي دور الشقة؟ في أي دور الشقة؟ On which floor is the apartment? On which floor is the apartment? So في can mean in, it can also mean on. So over here it means on. في أي دور? On which floor? الشقة is the apartment. Because in English, we don't say in which floor, on which floor rather. No. So we say the answer is في الدور الخامس. في الدور الخامس. On the fifth floor. Now, خامس is come from the word خمسة, right? You can see it. خا, mim, and then sin. خامس means fifth. خمسة means five. So position, the number itself, and then the position when you're using it as a position. خامس, fifth. But خمسة, five, or خمس, five. خامس, fifth. And then we are using it to as an adjective for the floor. Now in English, we say five floors, right? The number comes before or the adjective comes before the noun it is describing. In Arabic, the noun that is being described will come first, and then the adjective will come after. So that's why we have ad-dawri al-khamis. The noun is the ad-dawri, it came first, and then the adjective al-khamis came second. So know this difference. In English, adjective comes before the noun it is describing, but in Arabic, the noun comes before the adjective. بارك الله فيك. So في الدور الخامس, on the fifth floor. So we made use of this over here, and then we made use of this over here. So that's what you are going to be changing بإذن ta'ala. You'll be changing that over here using these ones as well. So the first question will be كم غرفة في الشقة? That will always remain. كم غرفة في الشقة? How many rooms are in the apartment? So you answer using this. You say it in here. نعم أحسنت. في الشقة أربع غرف. في الشقة أربع غرف. أربع is come from أربع. أربعة. So أربعة for feminine أربع. Masculine أربع. So في الشقة أربع غرف. There are four rooms in the apartment. And then the next question comes. في أي دور الشقة? On which floor is the apartment? Now you answer. أحسن. في الدور الرابع. في الدور الرابع. On the fourth floor. So here is four. Here is four. Okay. في الدور الرابع. Let's move on to the next one. كم غرفة في الشقة? Now you answer. في الشقة ثلاث غرف. في الشقة ثلاث غرف. There are three rooms in the apartment. Right? Okay, the next question. في أي دور الشقة? On which floor is the apartment? Your turn. أحسن. في الدور الثالث. في الدور الثالث. On the third floor. On the third floor. Now let's move on. How many rooms in the apartment? Your turn.